This is CAF TV. Welcome, everybody. Alex Bash-Javansky bringing you all the action from the Canadian Academy of Football. And joining the studio today, as you can see by Mr. Director himself, the Director of CAF, Phil Iannati. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Good to be here.
Second time this year.
Yes.
Second time. We had Phil on, of course, for the first show of the year. And I was pretty excited about quite a few new CAF ventures this year. And if you could believe, we're halfway through. Time flies.
It went by so quick. I don't know where it went.
Mid-May. Yeah. How have things been going? Obviously, I'm there every week filming the highlights and stuff for the Super Group, but the Super Group was one of your big initiatives this year, and are you happy with the way things are going?
Oh, ecstatic. You know what? You put these initiatives in place, and all of a sudden you see the success of it happening, and you see the kids' faces, the parents, everyone, the environment. You see it every week. We go to the change rooms, with their logos being in the change rooms. It's a real professional environment. Walking out, their name being announced, the national anthem, and that's key. We talked about this 2 months ago before the season started. Yep. What do we need to do? How do we push these young players to see an opportunity of what's needed to be truly professional? And hopefully we can make it even better. Hopefully we can fill the stands eventually. And the next vision is, how do we have 500, 1,000 people watching these young kids?
Games,
and that's the next strategy.
Yeah.
And we're going to get there, and there's little things being put in place to make it happen. And that will be even more exciting for those players, because playing in front of that kind of crowd, that kind of attendance, you got to learn how to play with pressure.
Absolutely.
And it's happened to our national team under 20s,
which we are going to get into
we'll
momentarily.
Talk about, of course. But back in under 20s a while ago, just the pressure of being home and playing in front of 20,000 players, people. How do we do it in front of, 1,000? So it's steps, and it's building. And first step has been successful, as you've seen.
Yep.
Expect some big things.
Well,
in the future.
to a man, every coach I've talked to, every player that I've interviewed. And when coaches come on the show and they talk about it and we ask how the experience is, they love, and the kids love the professional aspect of it. They feel they're being groomed too. You can see that's part of it. They're thinking about it when the microphone's in their face and they're being interviewed. I'm not trying to throw them off or anything like that, but you ask them questions and they're processing stuff, and they're pros already. It's unreal the way they're answering stuff, but to a man, they love all the professional aspects and the walking out, the national anthems, the change rooms, all that stuff. It's been huge for them, no question about it.
It's all about preparation, right? What are we preparing these kids for? And the coaches see it, they understand that. Some of the guys that played professional, the Ruben Flores, the Kevin DeSerpas, Chris Lecco coming in and seeing it, and just week after week, commending of what a great environment, how good it is for these guys. And us together as a group, united, I think we can do some really good things moving forward.
So aside from just the Super Group, we've got all the other age groups in CAF. We've got boys and girls and stuff. You've been out watching stuff. Are you happy with the way things are going and progressing with those other groups as well?
You know what, Alex, it's the whole big picture of it all. Working with the association has been it's been a lot of work, and it's slowly gaining momentum, which is great. We've come with some new programs in place, which is going to help our program, which will help the kids, and in turn will help soccer, which is great. Being excited of the fact of seeing the kids at one location, 1,000, 2,000 people walking through, watching game, one field to the next field.
The mini games are fun.
Yes.
Wow. Going out to 407 in Dixie and seeing all the different age groups and the young kids running around the street, just hop from field to field to field. And there's an excitement, and also because of what you brought up, lots and lots of people there. Yeah. Parents there and players in there. There's hundreds of people there during game time, just watching the different games and stuff.
And that's just like a tournament environment, right? When people travel around the world to go see, playing tournaments here and there, they get to see other teams, other players, and that's key. It's not just one game and go home. It's watch a game, see what other players are there, and see what that kid did, and think, wow, that guy's improving, and that's what's the key.
Yep.
How do we improve week after week to make ourselves better? It's called development, and that's why that's our thing. It's our youth development system is CAF, and it's working towards that to tie in hopefully with professional clubs. Hence our partnership work and relationship with TFC and
the
other
TFC thing. We just got to talk about this. We're running out of time for the segment, but it was an amazing thing. Back in May, 2 different nights, CAF Day at TFC games, where the kids got to walk out and be the flag bearers. And how excited were those kids? And how did that happen in the first place? We've got about 45 seconds here, but how did that happen?
Quickly, Alex, I had a meeting with all our members, and I said, guys, we have to build a culture within CAF, and that is, supporting professional soccer, watching players so our players could turn around and do the same things.
Right.
And connected with TFC, some, great people there that, saw the vision, worked with us, had the ability to get these kids out to be flag bearers, ball boys, ball girls, just great. And the excitement. And now everyone's bought into it. Having over 2,000 people attend games from CAF was awesome. And we have another one coming up in September. So keep an eye out for that. And, it's all about relationships, building CAF and then going to the next level, which right now TFC is doing a great job, and hopefully to make the playoffs.
One of my favorite parts before we go to commercial, I was just going to say, filming those kids walking out with the players for the national anthem, the look in their eyes, starstruck. Phil and I have got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the state of Canadian soccer, a lot to cover, I know, coming up in the next segment. Pardon me. CAF Soccer, coming right back. Welcome back to CAF TV. Alex Bastiavansky, joined once again by the director of the Canadian Academy of Football, Phil Iannitti, and we're going to have a conversation about something that Phil's really wanted to get into. He's been pretty passionate about this. The last couple of days we've been talking. He wants to talk about this, and I agree. A discussion has to happen about this. The state of soccer in Canada, one of the reasons why CAF started in the first place, to help develop the skills of young players, but we've been watching our national teams over the last few months, and obviously a lot of excitement with the tournaments being played here and the Women's World Cup and the Pan Am Games and everything. But it's interesting, to say the least, the state of our programs right now and what we are accomplishing or not accomplishing.
You know what? It's a twofold, right? One, the exciting part, Alex, where we broke records. You know, Women's World Cup in Canada broke records.
Absolutely.
You know, you look at the Pan Am Games, fantastic. They did a great job hosting, and the Gold Cup. We hosted our Gold Cup game here for Canada. So everything you look at, I think the association is doing some great things of bringing soccer to our country and showcase, what we have, our opportunities of soccer. And when people say, oh, what's wrong with soccer? No culture. Well, guess what? When you're talking about 60,000 people in the finals watching the Women's World Cup, when you're talking about Pan Am Games, sold out stadium for the finals, the passion's there. They love it. So, how do we now as a country turn that into something, bigger and better for our members, our players, not being successful, not scoring a goal in the Gold Cup. That's a little bit of an issue, right? So,
just a little bit of an issue, yeah.
It's tough to win games when you're that. And not to say that they played bad, but there's something missing. There's something not clicking,
Finish is definitely missing, for one thing.
But you have players. You got players like Kyle Larin, a young,
number one overall draft pick in the MLS Super Draft last year.
Canadian player first.
Canadian
right?
kid,
so
absolutely.
He just scored a hat-trick the other day with Orlando City versus New York. So you know what? We have it. What's missing? There's some kind of connection, and we have to give our young players, and that's why CAF. We try to show our young players, the players at the top, and bring them out to the games, bring them out to the Canada Games, bring them out to the Pan Am Games, because they want to see it. The problem is now we need to start tasting success. We need to make the World Cup. The women's have done a great job. They came off Olympic as a bronze medalist. A little short, in the World Cup. High expectations. It was tough. And you know what? So there's a lot of work that we need to.
What's the next step then? This is. It seems like there's a lot of confusion as to what the next step is. When TFC came in 2007, I remembered. We thought it was going to be like when the Raptors came into the NBA, the Raptors effect back in 1995. And we see the fruits of the results of it now with our national basketball program, from your Andrew Wiggins to your Tristan Thompson, on and on and on. But TFC came in 2007. This does take time. It didn't happen overnight, for example, when the Raptors came in, but there was much more of a soccer culture already in Canada than there was a basketball culture. Soccer has been the #1 participation sport in Canada since 1998 for ages 3. You got my notes on his page, actually. I took it from, I believe it's 3 through 17. Soccer is the #1 participation sport. So it's there. The kids are there. They're playing the sport. Where are we going wrong is the big question.
And you know what? And there's, we have to find the answers to it. There's no other thing about it. But talking to some people at the highest level, they're saying, well, it just takes time. Like you said, Raptors. I was with a friend the other day, and he's saying he was with a coach from university, a big time university, at a game, and in Toronto, and they're like, hey, what are you doing here? And he goes, well, the talent of basketball players in Toronto. It's an untapped market.
We're the #1 per capita producing players of any city in North America and possibly the world right now. Toronto, the Greater Toronto Area. It's true.
So if we're doing it in basketball, how come we're not doing it in soccer? Yeah. We had the talent. The Dwayne Desers, the Thomas Residencies, those kind of players that came from the system. The Guzmans,
with no national league either. Also, with no national league, also in basketball.
So imagine if we have a national league. The other day I watched a show, an episode between I guess Tim and Sid, and they're talking about what's going on.
Passionate soccer guys. They love their soccer. They do, and they know it.
They're sports guys, and that's what it's all about. And they want the people to understand because they're trying to understand, right?
Absolutely.
And that's where the confusion comes in. And how do we, as soccer people, how do we get all the guys that played at a high level come back into the game maybe, get involved. We need to. We have to brainstorm. We have to come up with a conclusion because it's in our fingertips, Alex. We have 10, 15 million people playing in Ontario only. You're talking about other countries like, for example, we were talking about earlier, Iceland.
Okay, so Iceland. If you don't know about Iceland soccer right now, and a lot of big soccer fans would, but it's absolutely unbelievable. 300 and according to, I'm taking my notes back here from Phil. He stole my notes page. What was it? 323,000 people in Iceland. They almost made it into World Cup in 2014. They had to go to a tiebreaker with Croatia, and all they needed was a tie in that last game, and they lost. Didn't make it in. Right now, they are leading Group A in Euro qualifying, in a group with the Netherlands and the Czech Republic. Are you kidding me? They've got 323,000 people. They have a 5-tiered professional system in their country, with the Premier League, a First Division, a Second Division, a Third Division. Iceland, Phil. I mean, now granted, it's a smaller country geographically, so it's not as tough to get around as it is in Canada. But I mean,
if we're going to talk geographics, so I was just mentioning to you, Ontario,
with the population we have,
15 million people.
Yeah.
Portugal, 10, 11 million people. One of the best players in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Absolutely.
So how is it possible that Ontario, with Canada with 35 million plus people, Ontario with 15 plus,
that we can't have it? We're going to break. We're going to continue this when we come back from break for a couple of minutes. So CAF TV, coming right back. Welcome back to CAF TV. Alex Bastiavansky joined with the director of the Canadian Academy of Football, Phil Ionati, for our mid-season review. And we're getting so caught up with talking about the state of Canadian soccer in general. We haven't talked as much about the CAF teams, which we will in a moment, but just continue on with your thought there. You were using Portugal as an example. I mean, a small country who's obviously produced some incredible players, Ronaldo being one of them.
Exactly. So when you have those kind of populations, Alex, of 10 million in the country, you got Scotland, Ireland, all of 5 million and under. We have a country of 35 million. We have the resources here. People love coming to Canada because it's a great country. We're very blessed and fortunate to have everything in our fingertips. So what is it? What can we do? How are we the best in hockey? There must be something. So we need to grab that and input it into soccer because we have it.
Ruben Flores, the coach of CAP, who in one of the interviews I had him on, he mentioned, for example, that when the OSA brought him on as an advisor, one of the first questions they had for him, because he played professionally in Mexico, came to Canada, he had just come to Canada, and they asked him, what's your analysis of Canadian soccer? And he said, well, all the kids are well-nourished, they're extremely healthy, they've got 3 square meals a day, they got a roof over their head, they've all got shiny new shoes, there's so much money, and they do not have the technical ability. It comes down to that. They've got all the opportunity in the world, and the system is there for them, to excel, but they have not been taught the technical ability. That was his frank analysis of the entire thing, and that makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
You look at Mexico that just came out winning the Gold Cup, right? Yeah. They're very technical, right? One of the biggest things is, Alex, and I'll keep repeating myself because as a younger player, it made a huge difference for myself. When you're young and you're playing with men, it makes a huge difference. Right, what the Mexicans at 16, 17, 18 years old, they're playing with the first team. They're playing with the reserve team. They're playing with men, and when you're at that age, playing in that environment is teaching you the proper things: how to play simple, how to think, how to be respectful, how to be disciplined. Right. And until we have that, until we get our young kids playing in that environment, ongoing, and not being nervous. Like a lot of times, watching games, watching the kids at a high level, I see them nervous. They're so concerned about making a mistake, rather than just play the game.
That's also part of just letting them play and not screaming at them all the time. The
maybe
overcoaching, exactly.
Right. So is there overcoaching here? Is the system here? Is it too much overcoaching? Is it sitting back and let them shine, let them play? Right. So
I interviewed John Herdman. I did the videos for the Ontario Soccer Association for the long-term player development a couple of years back. I had the chance to interview John Herdman, and we were talking about that, about parents and coaches screaming and yelling at kids too much. A lot of parents will say, "Oh, that's the way my parents did" and stuff. But John Herdman made a great comment, and he said, parents don't understand that the most powerful thing you have is your gift of speech. And if you're not going to say something positive, you just shouldn't say it at all when the kids are playing. Just let them play and let them figure that stuff out for themselves, especially to the parents from the sidelines who are screaming and screaming at the kids.
Think about it. Think about Europe. Think about South America. parents, to be honest with you, are not there on the field. It's the coach and the players. When you went to school, in elementary school, did you have your parent come to school?
Nope.
Teacher. No, your teacher was there. Your teacher taught you, and that's how you excelled, right? So what needs to happen is that we really have to build that environment, and there's nothing wrong for them to go watch and be a positive, environment for them to make their kids just want to play. We don't want to discourage you. We want to bring them on with us.
It's a beautiful game. Make them feel it, that beautiful game.
And it's going to take time, Alex. All it is taking time. Hopefully, one step at a time, we can get there.
He's going to be on again. We're going to talk about the sport. We're trying to go through our teams. We've got 2 minutes. Let's just quickly run through some of the teams here. Well, 6 teams from the Super Group. Epic in first place. They've been absolutely dominant so far, doing great in the Ontario Cup, basically showing what you thought they were going to show all year, aren't they?
You know, they have quality. Quality in every sense, from coaching to players. Systematically, they've been together for a little while as well. So here's a team that won the indoor Ontario Cup. I truly believe that they have a really good shot at going all the way in the Ontario Cup. And again, they have some quality players, and now you can see some of those players that we just finished talking about. How do we grab them and maybe hopefully passing them on to maybe a TFC or a European club?
A lot of those kids have actually been training with us in England. They've gone over. A good portion of the team have actually, so they've been noticed in England doing exceptionally well. GCS out of Niagara region, coaches James and Davey started off strong, cooled off a little bit now, but they've been a lot of fun to watch, and they mean so much to the Niagara region to have that elite option for them to go to, isn't it?
It's all about the fact that you want to have the best players, in a good environment. Straight out, Alex. That's, you look at why we had a super group, why we tried to build that environment, and these kids see it now. The Niagara region it's a beautiful region. They have some, quality players. It's tough because of the area that maybe not as competitive when you put maybe 10 clubs together, but if you grab one from that area and you promote that one team, they'll be able to compete, right?
Well, they do travel. They do travel to Toronto, obviously, for the games in CAF. But the best thing is they had 2 players on that team who were telling me when I interviewed them a couple of weeks ago, they used to have to travel an hour and a half to clubs in Mississauga to train with. Those used to be their own clubs. Now they stay at home, they're able to train with GCS, and they come to CAF games on the weekend, and they're thrilled. The coaches are really thrilled with the level of competition they get to challenge those kids to every single time they step on the field. We're going to talk more about more of the CAF Supergroup teams. When we come back, more CAF TV coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to CAF TV. Alex Bastiavansky, along with the director of the Canadian Academy of Football, Phil Ionati. We're doing our mid-season review here for the CAF Supergroup, but for CAF in general, but we're just talking about a few of the Supergroup teams right now. CAP, out of Guelph. Coach Ruben Flores, who we discussed before, played professionally in Mexico. They've been a lot of fun to watch. Strong mix, and you talked about in Mexico, for example, how playing against men, how they'll do that. Well, you see what Ruben does is he has a mix of younger players playing with the older players as well. The younger players that are excelling, he puts them on the team with the under 14s, and they've excelled. Well,
you see the talent, right? You see the, obviously his little one, little Chicho. You see the highlights, the
Marcelo.
goals.
Marcelo, yeah.
We call him Chicho, little nickname, and just the quality of his finishing. You see it, his runs. And here's a kid, he's gone over to Europe, and people are already really interested. I mean, he goes over there and he can play 2 years up, right? And that's key. If a kid has the ability, can you able to see him play a year up and push him? Because if he's playing his own age category and he's not excelling, what are we doing to push them?
Yeah.
And Ruben's done a great job with his whole program. Just a great guy. He loves the game. He's passionate.
Oh, he's passionate.
And these are the soccer people we all have to bring together. There's guys right across the province, Alex, to be honest with you, from Lucianero to Jens Kramer to Rick Titus, Dave DePlacidio, Theo Zagar. Like, these are the soccer minds that play with the professionally, play nationally. We come together with that kind of concept. We have an exciting future.
Yep. Dragon Force DFC, a new program just started last fall. Giving the kids up in the Bradford area and Innisfil and all those places a place to go and excel and face great competition. We can win out and get great training. They've been a great addition, DFC.
Alex Lewis has done a great job. He's a hardworking person. He did a relationship with Porto. I was there at that event. They're excited. They've already came to CAF and asked us how we could do partnerships. this is critical, bringing good people on board of the program and helping, again, that pathway. And when you have someone like Porto and you have someone who believes in them, Dragon Force has done a great job. Only good things that come from them in an area that soccer will continue to grow in Bradford. So, hats off to them. I see some really good things happening, some really good soccer. They have a forward out there.
Great, Liam McCarroll.
Right?
Liam McCarroll, but Kai Vicari also, they've been a great team to watch. We're almost out of time, so we've got to move along. But Burlington started off slow, and then they lost, I believe, last weekend. But I mean, they've been doing just phenomenal to watch. Some of the kids they've got. Chris Lyko at the helm, former professional player, who's actually in Ireland right now getting his B license, his coaching license. So good for him. But obviously they're a very well-coached team. They've been a lot of fun to watch this year.
Some great goals. You got the two brothers in the middle, the Baker boys that can move the ball.
Ilya Illich is the process. I think he might be the top scorer in CAF. He's been phenomenal.
Some great goals.
Yeah,
great goals.
Yeah.
So, and that's exciting. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. No, great job. Mihail Markovic, who started the program, passionate guy. He's done a great job over there. Jinga Academy, Kevin DeSerpa, another former professional. You want to talk about passion, Kevin DeSerpa, wow, man. He's Kitchener-Waterloo area, which has been great for that area to have those kids to have a place to play and excel. Skill development all the way through. He preaches it, and you can see it with some of the footwork these kids have. They've been a joy to watch all year.
Yeah, and technical ability. And at the beginning, it was taking some time for them to come together. But now you see every game that they're
close every game.
They're growing, and that's development again.
Yeah.
Things that we talk about, Alex.
Yeah.
And some of the players he has 2 or 3 players that just they have the ability.
Oh, yeah.
They have the ability technically and strong, and they're helping the other players come together. So Kevin was one of the best technical players that come out of here, left foot, right foot. So it's good that he's passing what his knowledge is, and everyone has their little flavor into their program.
In their association with the Cesc Fabregas Academy. There's a lot more coming with that we're going to update everyone on soon. But great things happening for Jinga. We've got 45 seconds left, so we've got to just touch on a couple of things you're really excited about. The NAIC, NAIC, North American Individual Cup, coming up in the fall. What is it? Just tell us briefly about it.
We did it last year. This year we expect it to be very successful, Alex, where it's going to be out of Niagara Falls, October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's called the North American International Cup, NAICsoccer.com. We're in partnership together with the Niagara Region Soccer Association, and it's key because we want to get that region and someone like GSCS and people out there in that area to get involved in the game and connect all the people here over there. So pretty excited about that. Check it out. It should be an exciting time, and that actually is for Special Olympics. The event's all about Special Olympics.
We've been showing some footage of last year's event. There's a 3v3 thing that we don't have time to get into, but we're going to talk about that more in the coming weeks. We're out of time.
Hey, always a pleasure.
Good job,
always
buddy.
Good time,
Just
man.
like old times, man. Roll right through it. Thanks so much for watching and tuning in every week. It's been a lot of fun up till this point, the mid-season point. Lots more great CAF action coming up as the season goes on. For Alex Bastiavansky, Phil Iannotti, see you next week.